It's July the 25th, about 6 p.m. here in central Kentucky, and there's a storm coming in. So I'm going to try and give a brief tour of my bike before the storm actually arrives. This is a 1979 Yamaha YZ250 motocross racer. I acquired the basic bike in summer of 2007. I made a winter project of it, and by spring of 2008 I had it ready, and since I completed it I've only raced it one time, and that was in April of 08 at Diamond Don's racetrack in Texas. It's a good bike. It handles really well, especially through the tight turns. The suspension is satisfactory on all but the gnarliest of racetracks. With the exception of modern racetracks with all the triples and things of that nature, it performs very well. Some of the things that I've done to it that are most immediately noticeable is the plastic that I've put all the way around it, the rear fender and the front fender and the side plates. The fuel tank is original. I just put adhesive Yamaha logos along the side, and they're ventilated so as to prevent gas fumes from lifting them off so easily. The motor's all fresh. It's got new bearings and seals in the bottom end. All the transmission gears and shift forks and things were checked. The top end is bored fresh to a 1.5 millimeter oversized Wiseco piston, which is as far as you can go on this particular cylinder, but I've got an extra cylinder that will accompany the bike to whoever buys it. The plastic, as is a lot of the other components on the bike, are affixed with stainless steel fasteners. I have a tendency to use those on my racing bikes. Some of the things that you'll notice are this custom fabricated sprocket cover that a machinist friend of mine made. We've installed wider foot pegs that are stainless steel, and you'll notice that the pin that holds the pegs in is a little longer than necessary. That really needs to be cut off and a new hole drilled into it to be right. I just haven't got around to that. It has what I think is a Proform exhaust and matching silencer. I'll have to dig through my receipts to verify that it is Proform, because all the ones I've seen since have a label tack welded onto the side of the exhaust pipe, but mine doesn't have that. But whatever it is, it works perfectly. It sounds good. It has that kind of factory works bike appearance to it, and it fits really well. Some other things that I've done to it is I installed the front end off of a 1983 YZ490. It gives you a few additional years advanced suspension technology, as well as the beefier 43 millimeter fork tubes, which gives more rigidity. Of course, the steering stem and the triple tree are also from that same YZ490. One of the best benefits of that front end is that it has the double leading shoe front brake. The entire wheel assembly and everything came off. You can see it's gold anodized. Came off of the 490. In the rear of the bike, I've mounted a Works Performance shock absorber. It's the entire shock absorber. It's not just a Yamaha shock that has been reworked. You can see a glimpse of the blue paint up underneath the fuel tank. The spring is painted blue. But it's a very trick looking shock. It's too bad that it's not more readily visible on the exterior of the bike. It's too bad that it's hidden up there. The remote nitrogen reservoir I've mounted inboard of the swing arm, which will help to prevent the possibility of damage in that first turn when other guys are trying to get around you or jamming their wheels up against you. The tires on the bike are Dunlop 756s front and rear, and you'll notice that the knobs are still good and sharp. As I stated, it's only got one race, and that's down at Diamond Don's. And the soil at that track is like potting soil. There's no rocks or roots or anything to rip the knobs off. The seat's in very good condition. It's really firm, and the cover that's on it is thick and mounted very well. There are no rips or tears or anything in it. The same fellow that made the sprocket cover for me also made this nice brake stay arm. I've had people ask me where they could get one, and unfortunately I think mine's the only one that's out there. I did mount Pro Taper fat bars to the top, or to the top of the triple tree. They are the Woods High model, which brings them up high enough to closely approximate the height of the bars as they were on the bike when they were new, with the mild steel tubing that they used to come with. But they work really well. They're very unlikely that you'll fall over in a corner and bend these. The perch mounts that you see here are from ASV. They have a plastic insert, helps the clutch and brake assembly to smoothly rotate on the bar as opposed to being clamped down really tight and causing damage to the aluminum of the handlebar. They'll rotate more freely. The levers that I used are the good German Magura levers and perch assemblies. All the cables are new. Throttle, clutch, brake. Got a good aftermarket throttle assembly, which opens up about a quarter turn. Snaps it back smartly. The carburetor that's mounted on the bike is a brand new one, and it took a while, but I've got it jetted to perfection. The bike runs cleanly through all the RPM ranges. Of course, I had the cases split, so I got to look at everything in there, and the clutch basket is not the type you're used to seeing with a bike of this age. The fingers on the basket itself don't have deep grooves in them. And when I reassembled it, I put new plates, steel and fiber, and springs, and a new lock washer to hold all that in place. So the clutch is good. The bike's a 6-speed. It shifts, clutches and shifts and runs just like you'd expect that it ought to. It may even be a little stronger than the bikes were when they came from the factory, only in that I've got it jetted really well for the altitude here in Kentucky. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of what the bike looks like all the way around. I'm going to set the camera down and rearrange things. I'm going to start the bike up and take it for a ride for you to see.